Alrighty, gamers, welcome in to Retro Time. I'm Jay. We're going to talk about the gaming news. Boy, I have people like adding me on Facebook, and I don't know who the fuck they are, and I'm just accepting them, okay? And it got out of hand, and I've been getting messages from like, it's all women. It's all women with made up profiles, and I've been getting messages from them. Well, in the midst of getting these messages, I'll talk to them and give them the benefit of the doubt. And then at some point, they end up asking for a gift card. So there's a big scam going on with people, I don't know, people adding me and trying to get a gift card out of me. I don't know what the purpose of that is because it's not going to happen. People online are inadequately stupid sometimes and they think what they're doing is right, but the reality of the truth is you can't scam me. I've known about this kind of stuff for a while. If you think you can scam me, these people have literally tried scamming me more times than I could count, and they have all failed to get their scam to go through because they're just idiots. They're just straight up idiots that have not are not learning anything at all that make allows them to comprehend why the hell I don't believe half the shit anybody says anymore because they're all like the internet is literally a place for like stupid people. That's what I'm starting to feel like it is. It's a place for stupid people who think they have the upper hand and just try to commit crimes that just fail and never work out. So I want you guys to understand, I don't talk to many people because a lot of people are trying to scam me into shit because they think I'm a dumbass or something. How were the clips last night? I recently did WCW Mayhem, WCW versus NWO World Tour, and its Japanese version virtual. See, I didn't get that far. I watched one of them last night. I watched the WWF Raw one. I didn't get around to watching the other ones last night. But yeah, people never cease to amaze me. They always just act stupid online and they expect people to tolerate it and give them whatever they want. And for some reason they have it in their head they're supposed to get like look at this. Okay, this is my Facebook right here. I don't follow very many people. All right. So, I don't follow very many people for a reason. And this is the proof as to why, but like I have 18 friends right now, which are people that are just bots because people just end up like legitimately being stupid. So they all think they're being funny right now, but I think they're a bunch of morons that fucking just don't end up stopping their shit. The reason that people do this to me is because they're inadequately fucking stupid. That's all it really is. That's weird. I remember that game like pretty well. I don't remember. You can't pick who you want to fight against. The game just picks for you. That's weird. Huh. I thought well, no, actually that makes sense because I kind of remember that. But yeah, people just choose to make people just choose to be difficult and then they wonder why I get mad at them. It's because you're being difficult. You know, a lot of people real life, they just don't know how to be right in the head. And I'm convinced that right now the IQ level for Americans are just extremely low for the reasons of what I see on this Facebook page. And it's sad because the women I used to talk to, they used to like not be this stupid, but all of a sudden a lot of women have become mentally like stupid along with like guys being stupid as well. Like I don't know who's more stupider now than there was. Like 10 years ago, people weren't that stupid, but like everybody's just inadequately dumb this at this point. So I'll have to check that one out then. But I'm gonna get into reading some of these things and Amazon Prime members can grab 9 free games in November. All right, take it easy. As we heard in the year's Platinum pen penultimum or whatever month, Amazon Prime members can look forward to a refreshed selection of titles as part of their Prime gaming benefits in November. If you're in the mood for a cheeky justice in the post-apocalyptic classic score attack arcade fun and fine art puzzle solving, there are plenty to look forward to. As usual, the 9 games can be claimed for the Prime Gaming Hub. The subscribers can also grab some exclusive loot in November for games like Fall Guys, League of Legends, Battlefield 2042, Diablo 4, Cyberpunk 2077, and more. So here are the games. Kicking things off on November 2nd is Rage 2. This will be the deluxe edition of 2019 game developed by Avalanche Studios and ID Software, and is pretty fun. First-person shooter with some terrific powers thrown into the mix. A direct sequel to 2011's Rage, Rage 2 builds on the predecessor with vehicular combat, ludicrous level of violence, and a lot of pink in the wasteland of New World Order. The deluxe edition comes with the Rise of the Ghosts expansion, the BFG Weapon of Doom Wasteland Wizard cheats codes, is a progress booster, and a new battle standard. On November 9th, Centipede Recharge brings the original bug-blasting arcade game back to life with vibrant visuals designed for modern screens, a great soundtrack from composer Megan McDuff, and plenty of challenging gameplay. A day later, Evans Remains adds a touch of mystery to your game library with a series of logic-based platform puzzles to solve. On November 16th, there will be 2 more games to add to your collection. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a classic RPG set in a sci-fi universe and still is widely degraded as one of the best games in the franchise. And behind the frame, the finest scenery is a vivid tale of art inspired by animated films from the studio Ghibli library, designed to be relaxing experience that can be played at your own pace. You'll use brushstrokes to solve a variety of puzzles and help an aspiring artist complete her masterpiece. The Dungeon of Nuhu Buke, the Amulet of Chaos, will be available on November 22nd, and this is a tactical RPG with a wonderful ride sense of humor. The Nahul Buke universe that this game is based on is originally creation by French author John Lang, and actually started out as a popular audio comedy series parody role-playing game and hectic and heroic fantasy tropes. One day later can bring Black Widow Recharged, a revival of the cult classic twin stick shooter. Finally, you can claim 2 games to close out the month. War 10 was the case in this adventure puzzle game set in a time loop and Cavern of Mars. Recharged is a regimen of 1981 classic game. If you're interested in the freebies but don't have a Prime membership, new members can sign up for a 30-day free trial. Even if you aren't eligible, you could always grab a 1-month membership of free 15 to claim these games. Once you claim them, they are yours to keep forever. If you're interested in the freebies, but don't have a Prime membership. New members, okay, so in addition to the freebies, Prime members will be able to stream a new batch of games next month via Amazon Luna's Prime gaming channel. The list includes Trackmania, Ride 4, Get Packed, Couch Chaos, Encodia, and Cube 10th anniversary. I think that's how it's pronounced. So there you go. You can actually get a couple free games off of the Amazon Prime right now. Apparently, I don't know. I don't think you have to sign up for anything. So, not a bad selection. From the looks of it, I don't know. I don't know about Black Widow. I know Centipede, and I don't know what this one is, but this one's apparently pretty good. So a lot of people do talk about this one. All right. All right. Why is my screen so wide? Okay, there we go. Rumor, PlayStation top executive fired due to on live service, on live service games. All right, so this is just a rumor, so I don't know if this is true. But usually when it's a rumor, it's just something made up until the truth comes out. So that's why I don't take rumors that's why I don't take rumors as they are. I take them with a grain of salt, and then I usually end up seeing how they really are later on down the line, because the truth normally comes up about rumors. So when you hear rumor in life, you just have to wait till the whole rumor comes up to the surface and you actually see. And normally rumors aren't true. Normally rumors are made up. Like, you know, an example, there are rumors that go around in my life of stuff that I do, which by now people should have figured it out that I don't do that stuff, but they still proceed to believe it because they don't understand what rumors actually mean. And so therefore they'll take a lie as, oh, that's true, I believe that. And rumors are nothing more than a lie for people to believe. So when you hear a rumor about something, don't always trust that first instinct, because you might be wrong about the first instinct. That's why I don't believe that's why I don't believe some of the stuff that I see about video games like the Switch 2 and stuff like that until Nintendo absolutely says something about it. The actual source of where something comes from is the source you should be paying attention to. Not these sources that are outside the main source of where you're looking at for evidence to see if it's actually true. And every single time, if you're not getting evidence from the sources outside of the rumored person or the rumored thing, the rumored company, you have to look at the actual source. All right? A lot of people don't look at the actual source of things, so they believe the evidence that they hear to be true, because that's the way the world works. For some reason, we're too stupid to understand this idea that the source is always the key factor of everything, no matter what. When Nintendo says this is the new Nintendo Switch 2, I see a lot of models online. I don't believe a single one of them. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but we don't actually know if that's the real one. And until Nintendo drops a release on us and shows us how it actually is, you cannot go around believing the shit you hear about a person or an item that might be coming out until the actual rumors become truth. Then when the actual rumors become truth from the source, then you have every right in the world to say what you want about the item. But until that source is giving you realistic evidence, you can't believe half the stuff that's being said by the people spreading the rumors. That's why I find it amusing how easily it is for people to believe stuff from people outside of the actual source of things, but won't believe the actual source for some reason. They believe that the actual source is the liar, and they believe the rumors, and that's where the world is fucking backwards right now. That's why when I look at stuff like the Nintendo Switch 2 and stuff like that coming out, that's why I'm always saying I don't believe half of these rumors I see. That's why even this is saying rumor, so this might not even be a true statement, and that's what rumor means. There's a 50% chance it is real, 50% chances it's not. And unless you believe the 50% chance that it is, well, then you might be wrong. You might be wrong, and that's what I'm trying to portray here. That's what I'm trying to relay here as a message. Rumors are 50-50, okay? We don't know yet. And and more than likely that rumor will not be true until we see something coming out of Nintendo's hands, okay? For anybody that does sit there and believe rumors, you need to understand that sometimes what you're believing is inadequately not right. It doesn't matter how much you look at it. And people spreading these rumors and continuously lying about another person and making that person into a target due to rumors they hear because of lies, you have to let things shine. You have to let the light shine on things. You can't just believe everything that's said to you about somebody. And that's where I just don't get how people can believe so goddamn much of something, and then it be false information because they made the whole thing up. That's the part of like society I don't get. They'll believe believe something so false that they don't even understand what they're believing anymore, because they just will generally believe anything because they're a bunch of idiots. Because that's what I'm learning here is, like, with rumors, a lot of people will believe rumors, and you got to be the person that looks at the word rumor and be like, okay, there's a 50 chance this might be right, there's a 50 chance this might be wrong, or 50% chance right, 50% chance wrong. That's how you got to take these rumors, okay? Sony Interactive Entertainment head of international productions, Connie Booth, was fired over the company growing focus on making a live service PlayStation game, according to newly emerged report. The news of Booth's departure from PlayStation first surfaced online in late October and still is awaiting an official confirmation. The PlayStation maker started pivoting towards live service games in 2022, having publicly stated as much on several occasions. Its strategic shift towards this brand new interactive experiment started with the $3.6 billion acquisition of Bungie, which previously pioneered the contemporary games as a service (GAAS) business model with Destiny series. All right, so right here, we don't know if she got fired for this exact reason or there was something else she got fired for. This is basic common knowledge when it comes to rumors. But when you believe the rumor that's being said, when you believe that statement right there, you're just a complete idiot, because that might not be the reason she got fired. There could be some other reason she got fired. But everybody out there believing not understanding what the meaning of rumor is, will not understand why she probably didn't get fired for this. She probably got fired for something else. But until the evidence comes up, you won't know. But Sony's transition towards live service games has so far been anything but smooth, having reportedly been responsible for Booth's departure from the gaming giant, among other difficulties. That's according to David Jaffe, a former SIE employee of God of War, creator who previously broke the news of the executive's firing in an October 25th video posted on YouTube channel. Jaffe provided some clarification on the original scoop, having asserted the Booth's removal from the company started with PlayStation's pivot towards live service PlayStation games. So going back up here, all right, So going back up here, now, what he said sounds more realistic to the first statement, okay? Sounds more realistic to the first statement. But for all we know, Jaffe could be lying about this, and that's why, again, this is a rumor. He could be completely lying about why she got fired, and this is why it's a rumor again. You can't believe just one person over this. You gotta take this all with a grain of salt. Like the woman from that game that got fired years ago for the voice acting, okay? She claimed that they weren't paying her enough, so she quit. Reality, the truth came up. That was not what was going on. She was getting paid good enough to do the part, and it got exposed after a while. That's why I'm saying don't believe rumors you hear, because you're gonna get exposed. It gets exposed after a while as to what is actually going on. That's why I don't get people who believe shit they actually fucking hear the first time. Many SIE studios were reportedly unhappy with the directive, not least because they previously spent decades working on the cinematic signal player experience, thus feeling that the company's leadership was no longer using them on their strengths. The discontent is said to have reached unprecedented heights with the recent cancellation of Last of Us multiplayer game, which still hasn't been officially confirmed. Nevertheless, the company-wide dissatisfaction was somehow blamed on Booth. Alright, so there we have another incident where she's being blamed for stuff. Alright, again, rumors. Jaffe reports, citing two unnamed sources familiar with the matter. Alright, so again, there's more to this than what you're hearing. Breaking the whole thing down, there's more coming out about this that needs to be looked at and studied and researched to see the actual evidence of something, okay? If you're blaming one person for something, alright, and you can't find any other physical evidence behind it because everybody took the other side, you have to remember that the evidence you want, the evidence you think you're getting, might be a complete lie about the person. All right. This is why the world has a lot of problems today. We're not willing to forgive as easily. And what I'm seeing here is this looks like Jaffe is just playing a scapegoat game. He's playing a scapegoat game here, along with, you know, whatever else is going on here. But they're making her look like the main suspect, more than likely because they don't like her, because she did something that was disagreeable to them. Jaffe, I watched Jaffe before get hypocritical about stuff, and people got mad at him for stuff. Alright? Well, not mad at him for stuff. People took his side on it, but it was just a really dumb incident that I look at Jaffe as an example of what we aka consider as woke culture, of blaming everybody for something, blaming one person for something, like they did with Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill got hate and flack for a lot of his stuff. I'm bringing this to the forefront in the light because this is what we're having a problem with in society, where everybody's willing to blame one person. But at the end of the day, what happens to the one person normally? They get their win. Because everybody's starting to see how much of a bully the woke crowd actually is. And when it comes down to it, this woman, Booth. Alright, so let's go back to this. The company wide dissatisfaction was somehow blamed on Booth. Jaffe reports. Alright, so Jaffe is explaining that all this came back onto this one particular person because dissatisfaction with the company. You can't be blaming something for dissatisfaction with your company on one of your fucking employees, okay? That is what's complete bullshit about this. That's why I somehow do not believe this to be a real statement. This rumor, not real. I'm breaking this all down for you because you dumbasses out there that believe half the shit you hear, you're in a troubled world, dude. You're the ones causing the problems. You're the ones making the issue here. All right. This stream's going to be pretty much probably about one article, depending on how long this is. But we got to stop believing this shit. We got to stop believing that we can blame one person on a whole entire subject. A dissatisfaction of the company. This is where woke culture has become the stupid culture of society. SIE's longtime executive who served as a senior vice president since late 2020 was consequently fired with little notice. Okay, we have another scenario where somebody's getting fired with very little notice. As per the same report, it's understood that the vast majority of her team also left the company by now, although it's unclear whether those additional departures were a result of firing or protest resignation. Probably a protest. I'm gonna guarantee you it was a protest, because if Sony is doing this to people, this is an ultimate protest against the company, because the company genuinely sucks. All right, breaking it down, looking at everything here, and from what Jaffe said, I believe because what I'm reading here and what he said is a firm belief that this is a protest against Sony and PlayStation. Protest, resignation, or both. It's equally fuzzy who pulled the trigger on both purported termination. Jaffe reports that PlayStation Studios head Herman Hustle, I think that's right, was allegedly in favor of cutting the company's Japanese studio, in the part speculatively suggesting that it might have prompted a clash with Booth. So yeah, they're openly admitting PlayStation Studios was allegedly in favor of cutting the company's Japanese studios in the past, speculatively suggesting how that might have been prompted a clash with Booth. All right, again, we have reason to believe that Sony was being a scumbag, and there was a huge protest here, and they probably all left due to Sony's desire to want to blame everybody but themselves, and not picking up the slack, and they're blaming everybody. This company is outrageous right now. I will say it. I will say that, because a lot of people are quitting PlayStation. A lot of people are leaving the PlayStation company right now. There's a lot going on over there. You can see exactly what I mean here by breaking all this information down and looking at it as it's a rumor. Okay, there's a lot of people that could lie and go against you. All right, what you have to understand is, even if everybody is going against one person, doesn't mean the vast majority of them are right. You know, that's why Sniper Wolf didn't get kicked off of YouTube, because YouTube's looking at it, well, everybody's blaming her. Exactly, everybody's blaming her. So that the way they're looking at it is this is a bullying tactic. This is ultimate, people bullying people to get what they want out of people, and then just see them go under. And it's just sad that woke culture has come to this. I don't know when woke culture started, but woke culture has been a vast majority of our problems in today's society, and this is why this needs to stop. All right. Despite all this alleged turmoil, SIE's GAAS focused on only expected to grow moving forward. The strategy shifts was started by Jim Ryan, the outgoing PlayStation CEO, who previously claimed the live service games will overtake subscription offerings like PS Plus and Xbox Game Pass. And while Ryan is planning to step down and retire in March 2024, Sony will plausibly keep following the GAAS course he set following his departure. So, again, I broke down most of this article so you guys can see where it's all coming from. And it's just hard to get people who are just so fixated on being a part of a group and not thinking outside of the group, and then just plausibly blaming somebody for things that at the end of the day, you don't even know. I don't even know. And even if there's word of mouth, we still don't actually know. So all that could be said Might be a rumor. And for all we know, she could still be working for the company. That, that'd be something if this was all just a made up for like PlayStation to look good or something like that. That could be what this is. But at the end of the day, I look at this as like you can't always be the bad guy, but majority of the time, if you're picked as the bad guy, you're gonna be the bad guy because people will always see you that way, even though they don't actually know what the bad guy really is. And if you're giving people what they want, they're not gonna see you as the bad guy. They're gonna see you as the good guy. That's just a point that needs to be taken. So let me check something real quick, and we'll get back to this. I'm so glad I got the chance to break down a scenario like that because at the end of the day, people gotta chill out on these consistent blaming people, believing everything they hear, like just really outlandish, ridiculous stuff. That at the end of the day, there should be some sort of like understanding behind what's going on and like thinking outside of the box to research and look at an example. But hey, I'm just I'm just stating the obvious that we have a vast majority of people who really, really love to blame everybody, but not take into consideration that they may be the dumbass on the other side, blaming people for shit that they don't even know exists, that they don't even know what actually happened. To sit there and blame somebody over something entirely over like justifications that somebody said in your day and made up about the person, you're funny. You're funny because you automatically have showed why your IQ is low, why you're probably the most stupidest person in the room. There's a lot about that. You have to trust your instincts, okay? If you can't trust your instincts and you can't trust and understand and believe why you are the way you are, you're not going to get answers. People can blame everybody all day long for something, but until that evidence, that particular evidence and that reason you think you're right is the absolute reason that you might actually be wrong, kiddo. Can't stand it. I can't stand a generation that just sits there and blames people for stuff. I'm glad I'm not a part of that. I'm glad I'm not hopping on that board where like everybody is wrong and I'm right, and I have never learned a lesson in my life. Like Cyberpunk 2077 update 2.02. So CD Projekt Red release date 2.02 for Cyberpunk 2077 brings a ton of bug fixes and general improvements to the base game and Phantom Liberty. The studio has found plenty of recent success with the open world title after a disastrous launch in 2020 and a month that followed. The highly anticipated title fell flat on its face at launch thanks to a variety of technical and performance issues which plagued all versions of Cyberpunk 2077, but really hampered the old PS4 and Xbox One platform the most. However, CD Projekt Red stood by the title and continued to release updates for it, which went a long way to turning the game's fortune around. While Cyberpunk 2077 is now in a much better place than it was prior, one of the biggest turnarounds came recently ahead of Phantom Liberty expansion. Update 2.0 modified a huge portion of Cyberpunk 2077, including the police system, adding car combat as well, overhauling the ability trees again. Fans' receptions had largely been positive, and since then, the studio has continued to release smaller updates to further refine the experience. In fact, CD Projekt Red gave fans a sneak peek at the newest update last week, highlighting a number of big improvements coming in this week's official patch. Keeping with the recent trend, Update 2.02 for Cyberpunk 2077 continues to address the lingering bugs and issues with the game. The patch notes have been broken into two parts: one Phantom Liberty specific fixes and improvements such as vehicle contract time limits being rebalanced, as well as a bunch of quest specifications, improvement, and tweaks. The run this town quest in particular receives a number of progression blocking fixes as well, which should help those who have run into a problem when deciding the fate of one NPC. In addition, the core Cyberpunk 2077 experience also received a large amount of improvements and fixes, including rebalance stats for some weapons based on recent player feedback. CD Projekt Red also confirmed various optimizations, performance improvements, and crash fixes, though it didn't provide any specific details on what was adjusted. While CD Projekt Red has done a ton to essentially revive Cyberpunk 2077, support for now popular open world title is quickly coming to an end. As the studio looks to transition to newer projects like Witcher 4, last month CD Projekt Red confirmed that Cyberpunk 2077 support will be ending following the launch of Phantom Liberty, and a few smaller updates beyond that, with both 2.10 and 2.20 having released. Is unknown just how many updates Cyberpunk 2077 has left before CD Projekt Red finally moves on. Jesus. Alright, so there's that. A lot of patches for that. Not as many as some games I've seen. The one day I was looking at patches on a game, and the list was fucking huge. I don't know how many patches were on it, but the person who put the patches had to be rough. Alright. Steam is changing how players pay for games around the world. Valve has announced that it is changing the Steam pricing. Is the way Steam pricing is handled in Argentina and Turkey, and regionalizing price in 25 total countries beginning on November 25th, 2023. When shopping on Steam, some regions in the world would benefit from pricing being in their local currency. This can sometimes result in purchase costs costing more or less than it would in other parts of the world, which some consumers find unfair. Others take advantage of difference, swapping regions to score the best Steam price for games. However, the currency exchange rate is a determining factor for game prices on Steam. Along with taxes and other region-specific fees in some countries, these prices can fluctuate greatly from week to week, making it tough for developers to set game prices that are both profitable and fair to consumers. The way that it works now, developers consistently have to amend their Steam prices to reflect the changing currency values in different countries, and the idiosyncrasy of regional pricing for video games, and also make it difficult for Valve to keep Steam various payments method current, specifically addressing the change rate volatility In Argentina and Turkey, Valve has announced that it will no longer be offering games in poses or layers, respectively. Instead, pricing will be given in US dollars. The change is intended to maintain stability in pricing and therefore be less of a headache for both developers and consumers. It will also enable Steam to offer more consistent payment method. However, this seems to be directly opposite the desire of gamers who have asked Valve to accept more currency on Steam, not fewer. This new model will go into effect on November 20th, 2023, and Steam users with Argentinian pesos or Turkish liras in their wallet will have their balance converted to US dollars on that date at then current exchange rate. Likewise, any Steam subscription in Argentinian or Turkish currency will be canceled and users will have to resubscribe in US dollars. The change to an Argentina and Turkey's pricing model will also add them to a list of 25 countries, including in Valve's new regionalized USD price. For those regions, game purchases on Steam will default to US dollars. It makes me wonder what the conversion of these are compared. Okay, so I'm gonna do some conversion here soon in money, and we'll see what it is because I'm kind of curious. All right, so though many gamers probably don't really think about video game pricing beyond whether a new release costs 60 or 70, companies have a lot to keep in mind when determining sale prices. Not only do storefronts have to take regional currency into consideration, but also competitor pricing. This became apparent a couple of years ago when Epic Game Store's sale of Hitman 3 ended in abruptly due to Valve pricing parity requirements, which means developers can't lower a game's price on other storefronts without doing the same on Steam. Alright, so when you break down these are all the countries that are like supposed to like have their currency transferred over. So like, okay. So if we were to take, let's just say we go back up here and we look at what alright, so if we take this, we take pesos, copy. So we're gonna convert. Alright. What is a peso worth in American money? Okay, so we're gonna take a look at something. Okay, so it's 50 point. All right, so let's see. So 0.5 cents equals 1 peso. So I'm trying to figure out how this would work. Would this be more expensive for them? Or would this be like... Would this be more for them? Because I'm looking at it, it seems like it would be expensive. Alright? If the currency is getting transferred over to... Alright, how much is 100 pesos to $1 unit? Alright, $1 Alright, so 1 peso, 100 pesos equal 546. Alright, so what this is going to come down to, if Steam is doing this with $2 US, Jesus, that's a lot, man, that's a lot. They won't even be able to afford games at that rate. So this is crazy because looking at this, I'm kind of glad I'm not in these other countries where the money, okay, so So if we take this, so it's 7.10 United States dollars. All right, 200 of them. All right, so looking at this, this is gonna be hard for them to even play games anymore at this rate. Like, because if they're getting charged this much for per you, like if they're gonna get charged this much, just think about how much they're gonna have to pay for a game. Then, if it's gonna transfer over to American funding, this is really America. Like, this is really what's coming down to. You know, Steam is ran out of the United States. So let me see something here. All right, Steam. Valve Corporation, also known as Steam, is an American video game developer, publisher, and digital distribution. So yeah, actually, what's happening here is they're making people pay for more for the games. This is crazy, but at the same time, I'm looking at it like this: we're fighting everybody else's war, so why not do this to the people outside the country? That we have to fight the wars for. Well, let me rephrase that before I even. That's a that's gonna be expensive to even play games anymore in those other countries. I kind of like I'm looking at it like this. If we're continuing, like I'm looking at it like this, okay? This is how I'm looking at it. If these countries are gonna have us fight their wars, let's just charge them more for playing video games. Like if they want to play video games, they'll pay those high prices and we'll just deal with it. That's what I'm looking at. Like, because we're helping too many countries, so this could be the cause and effects of like other countries having to pay more for games and all that. Like looking at statistically, I've seen so many games be like this like really high price, but it's not in American dollars, it's like some other foreign currency. So when I look at everything, that those prices are going to go even higher, and it's going to be hard for anybody around the world to even consider wanting to game anymore. Like the gaming for those people are going to be like a real is going to be like a pastime if this keeps going the way it does. All right. Nintendo reveals new rules for content creators. All right, so let's see what the new rules are. All right. Content creators will need to adjust to some new guidelines by Nintendo when it comes to image and video sharing activities. A new wave of content guideline has added restrictions that creators must abide when they're playing and sharing Nintendo games, coupled with several frequently asked questions for further context. As Nintendo continues to sharpen its authority over content creation regarding its product online, creators continually adapt to the ever-changing atmosphere that challenges that come with producing creative and original content only get tighter with newly established community tournament guidelines for Nintendo games that were officially announced on October 24th, 2023. These will go in effect on November 15th, while tournament enthusiasts will look into regulations of their own community events. Content creators must abide by their own set of rules if they wish to continue generating Nintendo-related media. It's an effort to establish respect between Nintendo games and the creators who play and capture gameplay. Alright? After administering a brief update to its content creation guidelines, Nintendo has published a new set of regulations that touch on online video and image sharing platform, with scenario opening the states that Nintendo is humbled by its fans. Love and passion for games, Nintendo provides a new basic rule that they won't deny the use of its digital product. This includes footage and screenshots capture gameplay from Nintendo games. The new set of rules is an update to the original regulations that were established on November 29th, 2018. Alright? Nintendo has administered 6 new rules. They range from monetization, regulations, to certain permission regarding promotional material. The new guidelines for content creators are as follows. You may monetize your video and channel using the monetization method separately specified by Nintendo. Other forms of monetization are intellectual properties or commercial purpose are not permitted. We encourage you to create videos that include your creative input and commentary. Videos and images that contain more copies of Nintendo games without creative inputs or commentaries are not permitted. Alright, so let me reread this. We encourage you to create videos that include your creative input and commentary. Video and image that contain mere copies of Nintendo games without creative input or commentary are not permitted. So you're allowed to give your commentary. So like example, when I was playing Zelda, I was giving commentary on what I was bound to do next and how I would create the method of going about in Zelda. This is what I did. I created the method in my head of what I'm going to do next, and I explained it to people so they understand what I'm about to do next. You may, however, post gameplay videos and screenshots using Nintendo system feature such as capture button or Nintendo Switch without additional input or commentary. Okay, so you can post screenshots and it'd be perfectly fine without having any commentary on it. You are only permitted to use Nintendo content that is generated after the game has been officially released, or if it is from promotional material officially released by Nintendo, such as a product trailer or Nintendo Direct. So you can talk about directs, you can give commentary over the directs and all that apparently now, which I was getting copyright struck for before. If you want to use this intellectual property of third party, you are responsible for obtaining any necessary third-party permissions. Okay? You are not permitted to imply or state that videos are officially affiliated with or sponsored by Nintendo. We reserve the right to object to any content that we believe is unlawful, infringing, inappropriate, or not in line with these guidelines. So you can it sounds pretty simple now. Like it sounds like you can commentary over a video game or something like that. You can use images from the video game without no commentary. You don't have to, but I use commentary when I'm viewing images on here. All right. With the new rules in effect, Nintendo will not be able to respond to individual inquiries that may concern the above listed guidelines. Furthermore, these said guidelines can be altered at any date. It's important for content creators to stay up to date with rules, especially when it involves producing content with newly released games such as Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Moreover, Nintendo provided several FAQs in content creator have additional questions. These FAQs involve such topics as using Nintendo game content, hosting gaming tournaments, recording gameplay at an event, and even more. Regardless of what question a creator may have, the supplemental bits of information will provide further context. Creators should pursue the new guidelines to avoid any issues with Nintendo if they're interested in capturing gameplay for their own creative and editorial purpose. All right, so this is another one I'm gonna share off to Twitter because this one's actually pretty important to the video game community. So that's pretty cool that they did that. I was like, why am I getting copyright strikes for these directs when I'm genuinely like just talking about them and watching them as they go on. Like, what I normally do with directs is I normally break them down, but seeing as the rules have officially changed, I can now actually talk about directs on my channel without getting some sort of copyright strike, which is incredible. Okay, so let me go back and read this one more time. All right. You are only permitted to use game content that is generated after the game has been officially released, or if it is promotional material officially released by Nintendo, such as products, trailers, or Nintendo Directs. So yes, you can use the Nintendo Directs now, which is pretty fucking cool if you ask me. I'm pretty excited about that one because I love watching Directs on my stream, and the next Direct, I'm gonna actually stream that shit. I don't care. I mean, now that they changed those rules up, I'm pretty excited for that. All right, so let's keep moving on. Actually, I'm gonna stop there. That's exciting news. Considering the fact that I'm a huge Nintendo fan. So for you guys that have watched me during my last channel, you'll learn that I'm a fan of Nintendo and what they do. And I might be able to start streaming, games back again on my channel, provided I'm not talking about really, really messed up, like stuff like medical and stuff like that. I try not to talk about that here on the channel, mostly because I'm basically like looking at stuff like the news or like, games in general and stuff like that. So I don't know what the purpose of my channel was going down. I think a lot of people just like lied about what I was doing. So the new rules and regulations are a little bit more lighthearted than they previously were. So I'm looking forward to these new rules taking effect. Um, and come January, I'll be watching Direct with you guys, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, take it easy, and I'll see you tomorrow morning because it is officially 12 o'clock, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll be back tonight with a stream over on Kick. We're playing through Skyward Sword right now, which is fun. I'm excited to do that. We're getting pretty far in that one. But all right, take it easy, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.